Hey guys, it's Abby Vlogs here, and I'm here back with another live stream. As I said in my previous live, I made a schedule on when I am doing my live streams. It'll be Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. They will all be at the same time at 8:30. That way I have a set schedule on each live. Now I'm just waiting on my friend, which he should be home by now, which I'm not sure. I just messaged him. He's messaging me back. He might be a couple minutes late because the weather might be bad over there. So, oh, he's not going to be able to join today. Oh. He's not going to be able to make it today because he had a long day at work. Really long day, it seems like. That is A-okay. Okay. So, I'm still going to be reading chapter, but before I get into that, I want to talk about next week's live stream schedule. I will still be doing it Sunday and Friday next week, but I'm not sure about Tuesday because I am going to be out with a friend. So I'm going to be at her house for a little bit. So I don't know when I'm going to be back. I don't even know what time I'm going to be there. I'm going to go because she hasn't gone back to me about that yet. So I am not sure. I'll keep you guys updated on that. I will post it on my channel to see. I'll even post my schedule on my channel because I keep forgetting to do that. So I need to do that. So I do not know if I'm going to be able to do a live stream next Tuesday. Not this Tuesday. Not the. Don't want that. I forgot to change the calendar on my actual calendar in my room, my wall calendar. Let me grab my phone. It's easier to do that. Easier to do on that than on my tablet. So it's not going to be this Tuesday, not the 10th, but the 17th. The 17th is when I am not sure if I'm going to be able to do live that day. Because I don't know how long I'm going to be there. I don't even know when I'm going to be there at my friend's house. So I am going to be spending a little bit of time with my friend, who's also my coworker. I won't name any names because I won't do anything. But yeah, she's my coworker. She's a friend of mine, and she's just really lovely. So yeah, I'm going to be spending some time with her on next Tuesday if everything works out fine, if she's off, which I hope she is. So yeah. Now that that's done, I'm just going to throw my phone over there, and we are going to get into the chapter today. We are getting into chapter 6. Oh, chapter 7. So I need to edit it. Oh, no, no, I don't. Chapter 7. We are getting into Chapter 7, The Sorting Hat. Summary. Finally, at the castle, Harry and the first years anxiously find themselves facing an unexpected test. Before they can officially join the school, they must be sorted into the houses: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. With the whole student body watching, a nerve-wracking wait interrupted by a crowd of ghosts culminates in Harry making the ultimate decision regarding who he wants to be, as he insists on not Slytherin. Once seated with his new best friend by his side, Harry finally feels he can relax, learn more about Hogwarts, and enjoy the best of the school's traditions, a fantastic and filling feast. The tradition of fabled magic schools began long before Hogwarts, with examples found in the folklore of Romania and Iceland through the modern fantasy of Earthsea, Discworld, and Tortle. Each school has its own personality, and Hogwarts is no different. Steeped in the customs of a British boarding school, with all the grandeur of its castle setting and a medieval foundation, Hogwarts is designed to feel awe-inspiring and ancient. By being invited to make his home here, the school provides Harry with a sense of belonging that only a month ago would have seemed impossible to the lonely, unknown orphan living with his aunt and uncle. Everything Harry encounters as he enters the castle for the first time is on a grand scale. From the vast lake first years across as their introduction to the grounds, framed by the imposing castle covered in impossible towers at the top of a cliff, to the entrance hall larger than the house at Privet Drive. The only exception being the small side chamber into which the first years are ushered, a reminder that they are not yet part of the school. The first figure to greet them is one who exudes all all the authority and stereotypically strict teacher, Professor McGonagall, whose emerald green robes suggest importance while also evoking balance and clarity. Her words are matter of fact, informative, and precise without the imagery or and personality of the other magical figures Harry has encountered. She is clearly focused on her job, and Harry's thoughts suggest he is both respectful and intimidated by her as he struggles to take in his new surroundings. Though her speech, we learn a little more about how Hogwarts functions. Harry will be assigned a house and will spend most of his time with his housemates. McGonagall goes as far as to say that your house becomes your family while you are at the school, making the sorting ceremony incredibly important for Harry, in that he is about to gain a sense of something he has been missing for 10 years. Harry's imposter syndrome kicks in again at the thought of being tested in front of a school of magic wielders when he has not yet learned a single spell, but this fear is quickly pushed aside at the arrival of the school ghost. Again, the ghosts add to the sense of history associated with the school. The castle and its occupants have been here long enough to contain imprints of the departed souls of medieval monks and Tudor nobles, suggesting the magic the students will learn is part of an ancient tradition stretching back centuries. Their association with the school's houses is quickly established when the Fat Friar, a literary nod to Robin Hood's Fat Friar Tuck, tells the students he hopes they all join Hufflepuff, my old house, as he puts it. Aside from the physical house dormitories, the ghosts create the most tangible link to the history of each house within the series, a link that will be most useful in the final book. The ghosts also seem to serve a more familiar role within the houses, that of a pastoral mentor offering information and support where possible, and a kind ear when needed. Sir Nicholas de Mimsy Porpington, for his part, wastes no time getting to know the Gryffindor first years after their sorting, answering their questions and encouraging them to win the House Cup, noting Slytherin as their greatest rivals. Much of what we consider to be the defining traits of each house are established in the first Sorting Hat song. Here we are given each house's moral descriptors: bravery, loyalty, wisdom, and cunning. From the song we learn from this song we learn the concepts associated with Gryffindor House, those of stereotypical heroes whose traits from the code of chivalry to protect others and fight for truth and justice. Hufflepuff, Hufflepuffs characterized as dictated as dedicated and honest are presented as hardworking, patient, and loyal. The negative reputation Hufflepuff sometimes receives in the fandom is not present in this chapter, but it stems from Malfoy's initial statement in Diagon Alley that he would rather leave Hogwarts than be placed in Hufflepuff. As such, there is an element of white collar versus blue collar classism to the dislike of Hufflepuff, where those who consider themselves above hard work look down on those who are willing to labor for success. Ravenclaw is presented as the most academic house where intelligence and learning are viewed as paramount. Interestingly, the focus of the song's lyrics for Ravenclaw is about the students of this house finding their kind, showing that friendship based on similar interests is a key aspect of the house. Here it is suggested that intelligence often goes hand in hand with loneliness or a sense of alienation, which will be explored to a certain extent with Hermione's character. After all, she was almost sorted into Ravenclaw and her difficulty making friends. Slytherin is a house of ambition. The song speaks of friendship, but also of a commitment to the completion of a task by any means necessary. This suggests self-interest that overrides compassion, and even the sorting has suggested Slytherin are rivals to Gryffindor. In reality, all Hogwarts students embody a mixture of these traits, and while sorting might be based on deducing the most dominant trait, students of any one house should not be thought of as lacking the qualities of the others. For example, Hermione is highly intelligent, Ron is loyal, and the Weasley twins are cunning, but all are Gryffindors. Harry has already formed his opinions about certain houses based on his interactions with Draco, Ron, and Hagrid. When it's Harry's turn to sit under the hat, the magical items evaluation of the young wizard's personality is both complimentary and uncertain. The words of the hat echo those of Ollivander describing a propensity for great deeds, but it is choice that informs destiny, and Harry has already decided he would rather be a Weasley than a Malfoy. He rejects Slytherin in his mind, denying the unknowingly hidden part of Voldemort within him the chance to repeat history, and takes his place at Gryffindor's table. Dumbledore's personality is shown to be truly eccentric. In his welcome address, he's jovial and funny, embracing the school's odd traditions and countering the intimidating first impression of the school provided at the start of the chapter. His four words, nitwit, blubber, oddment, tweak, break the tension in the air and act as a bridge between the unease Harry has experienced over the past 6 pages and the happiness and relief he now feels at being in Gryffindor with Ron. Now that the sorting is over, the school can relax and enjoy itself as a community the likes of which Harry has never known. All we know about Harry's previous school experience comes from the tales about bullying, where Harry was once chased by Dudley's gang and laughed at for his broken glasses and baggy secondhand clothes. Here he is finally among peers who don't know Dudley, wearing brand new robes that match his classmates, and is seated beside a friend he has bonded with on the train. It also doesn't hurt that at this school Harry has a heroic reputation that precedes him. Other new Gryffindors he finds also come from Muggle homes, and even those from wizarding families are experiencing the castle for the first time as they swap stories and learn more about Gryffindor's house ghosts. Harry is experiencing his fresh start, a rite of passage that is familiar to many 11-year-olds starting a new school, allowing young readers to empathize with Harry and share his joy in these new in these welcoming new surroundings. Another new delight for Harry is the fantastic feast that magically appears before him. Hogwarts feast will serve as moments of joy and tension throughout the series, but this first appearance holds particular significance in representing the salvation and comfort Harry finds at his school. During his time at Privet Drive, Harry was shown to eat meals with the Dursleys, but always with a hint of receiving less than the others. At the zoo, he ate a simple lemon popsicle while his cousin enjoyed a luxury ice cream, and he often had to sneak out to the kitchen for food when staying in his cupboard as punishment. Much like the sweets Harry bought on the train, the food at a Hogwarts feast marks a change from the frugal meals and making do spirit that characterized his pre-Wizarding World life. Suddenly he is treated to sumptuous, hearty meals encompassing his and his fellow students' wildest dreams. Hogwarts promises to look after Harry and Ron and provide them the treats they had previously been denied. While enjoying an endless feast and conversations with the other first years, Harry is already getting comfortable in his new surroundings and is even warning and of a most painful death should anyone venture into the third floor corridor. Can't abate the happiness he feels at finding a home. The one dark cloud in the haze of happiness is the unusual pain Harry experiences when looking up at the head table while taking in the teacher sitting there. Harry meets the eyes of Professor Snape over Quirrell's shoulder and immediately feels an intense pain across his forehead. Understandably, Harry associates this pain with Snape, as it appears that his eye contact was the cause, yet later we learn that turban Quirrell is now wearing is covering the real culprit. There are many theories as to why the scar is painful in Voldemort's presence, with the prevailing idea being that like attracts like the fragment of Voldemort's soul within Harry wants to rejoin the whole with an almost magnetic attraction, causing pain when it fails to split free. Alternatively, it could be a sense of memory of the pain of the killing curse from 10 years before. The subsequent dream Harry has that night, in which he is wearing a turban that tells him to join Slytherin, and the laughing figures of Malfoy and Snape merge into a high-pitched laugh and a bright green light, is a major clue to the end of the book, though Harry's interactions with Snape will distract from its real message, and when he wakes in the morning, any thoughts of Quirrell's turban will have been forgotten. Now we will go back to the beginning so I can read all the extra stuff. First mentions the Fat Friar Sir Nicholas de Mimsy Porpington, nearly headless Nick, Peeves, Hannah Abbott, Susan Bones, Terry Boot, Lavender Brown, Millicent Bulstrode, Justin Finch Fletchy, Seamus Finnegan, Theodore Knott, Pansy Parkinson, Padma Patel, Parvati Patel, Dean Thomas, Blaise Zabini, the Bloody Baron, Severus Snape. Timeline: September 1st. Night. The first years are greeted by McGonagall and shown to a side chamber. The sorting takes place as the school watches on. The feast begins. The Gryffindors get to know each other. After eating, Harry's scar hurts while looking past Quirrell at Snape. And there's the first 2 pages. First mentions continued. Argus Filch, Madam Hooch, and the Fat Lady. Ring theory. Harry has a significant moment in his new life, both in this chapter and its mirror, chapter 11. In the earlier chapter, he is sorted into Gryffindor house, finds his family. In the later chapter, he plays his very first Quidditch match and famously nearly swallows the Golden Snitch. This exact Golden Snitch comes back in Book 7 and helps Harry find the courage to complete his mission. Timeline: September 1st. Continued. The feast ends. Dumbledore warns students and faculty not to enter the third floor corridor. Bedtime. The prefects lead the first years to their new house dormitories. Harry falls asleep straight away and dreams of Quirrell, Snape, and the events of 10 years before. From the podcast. Why do they still have sorting? Obviously, from a narrative point of view, it's fun going back to the literary tradition, but centuries after the founders died, there's almost no reason for them to still to have that the school separated into four such distinct groups. Why do they still do this? Allison said this in episode 208. Beyond the books. Prior to settling on the sorting hat, the author considered many other means of sorting students, including magical contraptions, statues of the founders, a concept later used in the history of Ilvermorny, short straws, and even sorting by team captains. She eventually built on the idea of names being pulled from a hat, which is how we readers ended up with the lovable singing sorting hat. Consider this: the first magical beings that the first years encounter are ghosts. Is this another reminder of how important death will be in this series? Here's the next 2 pages. Did you know? Professor Quirrell is sitting at the staff table with a turban on, which he wasn't wearing when Harry first met him in Diagon Alley. Lord Voldemort is officially at Hogwarts. A humbug is a hard candy common in the United Kingdom and Ireland. It is typically striped black and white is most common and peppermint flavor. Magical theory. What did the founders do to put their philosophy of what their house should be into this hat? What did that magic consist of and how was it permitted or performed? Fandom. Many Harry Potter fans care more about which Hogwarts house they identify with than their astrological sign or personality test. In the early years of the fandoms, fans self-sorted. On August 15th, 2011, Pottermore, now Wizarding World Digital, opened to beta users and the official Sorting Hat quiz was launched. Beyond the books. On the very rare occasion the Sorting Hat takes longer than 5 minutes to sort a student, that student is referred to as a hat stall. Although Hermione's and Neville's sortings took almost 5 minutes, Harry only knew two true hat stalls: Minerva McGonagall, Ravenclaw/Gryffindor, and Peter Pettigrew, Slytherin/Gryffindor. Did you know treacle tart is a pastry dessert with a thick filling, and trifle is a layered dessert made with cake, fruit, pudding, and whipped cream? Consider this: several students seem like they don't know what to expect during the sorting. Why do you think families keep the nature of the ceremony secret? Here's the next 2 pages, and then these are the last two. Beyond the books. The Sorting Hat, which originally belonged to Godric Gryffindor, literally contains the intelligence of Hogwarts' four founders, of very skilled legitimens. The hat absolutely refuses to admit that it has ever made a mistake, and there have been very few questionable calls over the centuries. Did you know 5 of Harry's classmates, Mandy Brocklehurst, Morag McDougal, Lily Moon, Sally Ann Perks, and Lisa Turpin, are never mentioned again? Mandy and Lisa are sorted into Ravenclaw, while the houses of Morag, Lily, and Sally Ann are unknown. Fandom. For years, fans wondered if Nitwit, Blubber, Oddment, Tweak would come to mean anything in later books. Alas, it never did. Consider this: ghosts play an important part in all 7 novels, from helping Harry with his grief to providing essential information in order to end the Second Wizarding World. Putting aside that in Harry's universe only wizards can come back as ghosts, would you? Beyond the books. A student with the last name Moon is sorted just after Draco. We eventually learned that her first name was Lily. She was the first intimation of Luna Lovegood and was named before Harry's own mother. Intimation. And that concludes this live stream. It was a bit short, but I don't mind it being short. I had a long day at work. It's daylight savings time, plus I'm just tired. It's been a long day, and I don't like daylight savings time because it sucks. So, I will see you guys in the next stream, which will be on Tuesday night at 8:30. So, hopefully tomorrow I will post my schedule on YouTube on the post, and I'll keep it pinned there. And I will keep you guys updated on if anything changes next Tuesday. So, that concludes this live for tonight, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night. Have a good night, everybody.